Let's change gears a little bit, and instead of looking at network servers and sort of web application servers, let's take a look and see how Node.js can be useful to us in other situations, specifically writing command line scripts. For me, I know that I've actually sort of stopped using a lot of other scripting languages and now increasingly use Node.js, even for just simple little command line utilities that I need to write or something like that. Because not only is Node.js really easy to work with and a lot of fun like that, it also does have some synchronous APIs that will work great for us when we're not obsessed with getting sort of maximal I/O throughput out of it or something like that, and we just need it to do some simple work. So we'll begin this tour by just looking at how you could actually run a Node script from the command line. And we'll go here to our text editor, and I've created a lesson 11 folder, and let's create just a new script called Hello World. Now, if you're not really familiar with Unix, at the beginning of any file, you can put this thing here called a hash bang, and some people actually just call it a shebang. And you can actually just put the path to an interpreter or the program to run with this file as its primary argument. So, for example, with this hello world file, we'll tell it to run this file using the interpreter user local bin node. Then I can just say hello world like this. Now I have that, you'll see here, I'll have this file created, but you'll see that it doesn't have the execute permissions I need. So I need to change mod 755 hello world. Now I should be able to run hello world like this just as a regular program. The cool thing, of course, is that the node realizes that this hashbang line isn't actually executable JavaScript and just ignores it, and then just continues here parsing and looking for normal JavaScript code to execute. There's one slight problem with this, and let's say I'm on a machine that a user local bin node is not the location of my node interpreter. For example, on a lot of machines, it'll just be in user bin node. And it would be disappointing if I had to provide multiple versions of this script, one for user local bin node, one for user bin node. Some people will like to put things in /opt node bin node or something, and this doesn't give us a lot of flexibility. So another common solution that people use on Linux is to use a program called userbin-env, and all Unix platforms, Mac OS X and Linux and everything have this. And what it does is then you say run it with userbin-env node, and this then says go look in the path for a program named node and run that. So now it doesn't matter at all where my userbin-env node. Oh, it's /bin-env. No, it should be that. Oops, it's user bin env node, and then there we go. So yeah, this just says, go find node in my current path, and then execute this script as if it were a node program. Now it doesn't matter where my node is as long as I have it somewhere in my path here, and you'll see that I always have user local bin in my path on my machine. So that's the basic of running the script. The only other thing we need to think about is how do I pass command line arguments? I don't want to have to say hello world all the time. It would be neat if I could sort of say hello world and then actually say this or something like that. I'd really like to be able to do that. So the way I do that, and I sort of hinted at this in the previous lesson, I think, and that is you can use something called process argv. Now, argv0 is always the sort of name or the path of the interpreter. argv1 is always the name of the script we're currently executing or running. So the first argument that we pass to our program is actually argv2, like that. So I can actually change it to like that, and then I can say hello world, actually say this. Now, if I don't actually pass in an argument, it should print out undefined, like that. If you want, I can actually just say process.argv, and you can see all of the values like that. It's running node, it's running the path, and then I can actually say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like that. And you'll see each of them just gets a slot in the array exactly as you'd expect. So that's the basics of running these Node scripts actually as command line programs on my Unix like or Mac machines or something, and that's how we get command line parameters passed directly to our Node scripts.